Have your ticket? You don't? Oh, no problem at all. Just hit the subscription button below and come on in. Hello, everyone. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. Hey, guys, I want to talk to you about a couple of real serious things that just occurred really in the last 48 hours. And one, that was, well, they're both very serious. The first thing I want to talk a little bit to you guys about, and that is, it was stated just a couple of days ago that right now there are 7 million people, citizens of the United States, who are almost in default with paying their car notes. 7 million people haven't paid their car notes in 3 months. 7 million. Now, to give you an idea of what that looks like, that is not the poor people. I know some of you guys say, well, that's poor people. No, poor people don't get car loans. Sorry. Poor people don't, for the most part, don't have car loans. I know there's some few exceptions there, but nobody's giving car loans. Nobody's proving car loans of $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for poor people. Trust me when I tell you that. Most poor people are getting their cars through friends and these used car sale lots. You know what I'm saying? Not the big ones, but the little local car sales lots. Or they're buying their cars from individuals who are licensed to go to car auctions and buy cars, and then they come back and they sell it, to poor people, at a price that's affordable to them and where they don't have to pay a car note. A lot of people save up their income taxes and things like that, or they wait on their income tax, not save it up, but they wait on their income taxes so that you can repair that car or buy a car again from a small car dealer. So when it talks about 7 million, those are 7 million middle-class Americans who can afford a car loan, to buy a car, who has the credit rating to be able to buy or get a loan to buy a car and to be able to qualify to pay that loan back off. So here's my question for you. If America is doing so great economically, if the stock market is doing so great, daily, as we've seen, yesterday I think the market closed at 400% positive, then explain to me why these people don't have enough resources or are in so much debt that they can't even pay their car notes. What's happening here? If the pay is going up as they've been telling us, people, remember that $1.3 tax credit that Trump gave to corporations that was supposed to go in, and corporations supposed to use that, for pay increases to create more jobs. Well, what happened to that money? And how is that money translating to people not having enough money to pay something as basic as their car note, guys? I mean, your second to your home, your car is probably your second most necessary, physical asset. I mean, that's not counting food, drink, things like that. Your automobile. You need that automobile for almost everything these days. Nothing is local. Everything you got to travel. So 7 million people don't have an automobile. 7 million. Or at least at risk of not having an automobile. Yet we're being told that the economy is in great shape. My question is, how is that so? And let me take you back. That $1 trillion that we were told that was going to help to create jobs. Guess what happened to that money? Corporations took that money. They didn't pass it down to you and I. They took that money, and what they did was bought back their own stock with some of that money, inflated the stock price, paid themselves off with the dividends if they had stock options. If you know anything about stock options, you know how that works. They give you a set of options. I'm through your number. At $25, they do something to they buy back the stock, drive the stock price up, because it looks like people are buying the stock, which drives your stock price up. And let's just say it goes to $50. And then you had 10 shares. So now your 10 shares at $25 are now worth $50 per share. And so you get to sell those shares at $25 and get the dividend back. Or you get $25 per share. Or, in this case, $2,500. Of course, it's way more than that with those guys. Those guys are getting, hundreds and thousands of shares. So they took that money that Trump gave them, the tax break money that he gave them, Instead of reinvesting in you, they reinvested in themselves and paid themselves off with these lavish bonuses through buying back shares and stock options, and also taking care of their major shareholders and making sure that they got a good dividend return on their money. But as far as you and I are concerned, you didn't see it. So that's the shell game that's getting played with you and I. And nobody is saying anything about it, because why? The mainstream media won't tell you about it. Your government officials damn sure not going to tell you about it. You follow me? And unfortunately, most of us are too busy to go research it. And like I tell you always, if I'm wrong, go do the research, come back and tell me that they took that $1 trillion and reinvested in their employees, as we were told they would do, in job creation. They didn't do it. They didn't do it. And then you hear them talking about, well, it was a 1.2% increase in income. And, what a 1% increase, if you're making $12 an hour, you know what a 1% increase is? Yeah, that's like 10 cents, 20 cents, something like that. I think it's, 20 cents, 12 cents, some foolishness like that. So you're making 12 cents more per hour, 12 cents. And that's what they're bragging about, guys. Because, again, we're not slowing down. Our attention spans are so short now because they got our minds diverted and preoccupied with all these irrelevant things. The border wall, Russian Gate, what Cardi B and Nicki Minaj was fighting about. What else? Jennifer Lopez, singing Motown. You follow me? They were so distracted with bullshit that none of us we don't have the time to think back, sit down and think constructively and ask ourselves, did they follow up on the promise they made to us? It's almost like a little kid when he's whining for something. You tell him, okay, when you take a nap, when you get up, then I'm going to give you, whatever the kid was whining about. And the kid goes to sleep. When he wakes up, the kid's forgotten all about what he was crying about before he went to sleep. You follow me? And therefore, you didn't have to deliver anything to the kid. He just needed a nap. We got to wake up out of the nap. Because until we wake up, we're going to keep getting duped and taken advantage of and manipulated and cheated. And people are going to lose homes. They're going to lose cars. They're going to be in so much debt that they're never going to be able to get out of it. I was looking at statistics yesterday, and this is the truth, guys. The average citizen right now in the United States has a debt of $50,000. $57,000. If you have a baby in the morning, that child is going to be born with $57,000 debt attached to that child. As our national debt continues to increase at $22 trillion and counting. As we spend money on foolishness, irrelevancies, at the same time enriching the rich at the expense of the poor. Oh, by the way, those tax refunds that a lot of you guys were waiting on, hey, what Mr. Trump decided to do when he came out with this new tax reform, most of you guys got a big surprise, didn't you? A big surprise when you saw your refund shrink. What happened to that money? So all of these breaks that these corporations are getting, which is supposed to improve your quality of life, my quality of life, is going right back to the same people who don't pay any taxes. Talking about these corporations and super rich. We even heard Donald Trump say that. He don't pay taxes. You remember that when he was running, for the presidency of the United States, and they were asking to see his tax returns and pretty much say, well, I'm smarter than y'all. I'm so smart that I know how to get around paying taxes. That's not my problem if y'all not as smart as I am. If you don't like what I'm doing, change the rules. That's quote unquote. Look it up. And then the last thing we want to say with this stuff, and my point is, stop buying into that. I know a lot of you guys went out there and spent a whole bunch of money on Valentine's Day. Don't you feel so much better about it today? Wasn't that candy sweet? Aren't those roses about to die? But they were pretty when I got them. Oh, and that card, isn't that card just making my home so much more pleasant? That delicious dinner. All to the benefit are the same corporate people who don't pay taxes and steal your money. Almost $19 billion worth of it. Wow. They must really, 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 really love Valentine's Day. I'm sure they had a great time as they took your money to the bank. But it's your money. But you can't have it both ways. You can't complain about being taken advantage of and not being paid enough and not being treated and having your tax dollars being utilized in a way that's supposed to benefit you through services, and at the same time feed the beast that's creating the carnage. And that's what most of us are doing through ignorance. You follow me? Because we're majoring in the minors, as they say. But if you don't wake up from that nap like the little kid, you're going to keep on getting screwed. And one day we're all going to look up and there's going to be martial law declared because the country cannot feed us. The nation cannot feed us anymore. And so what they're going to do is, through the process of elimination, it's going to be survival of the fittest. And some of you guys are going to be eliminated. I know you don't want to hear me say that, but it's just the truth. They're already doing it through a lot of these programs that are going on right now. And I'm not going to get into all these anti-reproduction programs. And it's not just abortions either. You got all kind of reproduction marijuana legalization, cool if you want to smoke a joint. But it does mess with your sperm count, man. It makes you sterile in the long run, man. Just so you know. Embrace everybody for what they love, fine. But I tell you what, 2 gay men can't make babies, nor can 2 gay women reproduce babies. And I can go on and on with that kind of talk, but somebody's going to get in their feelings and get offended. And I'm not saying this to offend you. I'm just saying this, I'm just asking you a question. Are you thinking about these things? Are you asking yourself the question, what's the long-term plan when the United States run out of resources? What's the long game on this stuff? Because any intelligent human being should always be asking that question. What's the long game here? I see what you're doing right now, but what is the end result? What should I expect at the end from all this? If I'm putting in all this money into the pot, exactly how much do I get back out of the pot? And what your country is telling you, nothing. The Walton family, that's who eats out of your pot. The DuPont family, the Koch brothers family, the Van Dam family, the Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch family, the Bezos, Amazon family. And I can go on and on. That's who is eating out of your pot. And when you look in that pot and you see nothing in there, just remember, you did contribute to it through ignorance. I didn't call you a fool. I said ignorance, a lack of knowledge. Because you're not listening, you're not thinking, and you're acting, or most of us are reacting like sheep going to the slaughter. Everybody else doing it, so I'm going to do it. Easter's coming up. I got to go buy me some Easter eggs, because I got to make sure my rabbit is going to have those Easter eggs from my bunny. Because you know bunnies do lay eggs. And if you believe that, I got some oceanfront property in California that I'll sell to you real cheap. I'm sorry, Arizona, that I'll sell to you real cheap. California, on the other hand, right? I'm not selling you that. I'm keeping that. That's my investment. But if you're buying that, and some of you will be buying the bunnies with eggs and all that other stuff, again, increasing them at your own demise. 7 million people can't pay their car notes. What's next, guys? What do you think is coming behind that? What's the next wave going to be? Oh, 20 million people can't afford their homes. So now the government got to come in through martial law, state of emergency, and take your rights from you as a citizen. First, your guns. All right? And then your voice. It's coming. Wait and see. But then again, we don't have to wait. We can all wake up and get on the move. Love you guys. DFG. Talk to you next time.